How do you feel people can help the homeless people in a real way? What can they do?
Stop looking at all homeless people as being in the same situation. Like some homeless people are homeless because they spend all their money on drugs. Some of them have mental problems. Some of them have problems because of domestic problems. They get in where the court will demand that they pay X amount of money to their wives or spouses, and they don't want to do it. So they refuse to get and be employed because they don't want to give money to their wives or their spouse because their wife is using it for some other reason. Those are other reasons, but everybody has a different situation. Some people have mental problems. And as a result of that, everybody's different. So you have to talk to everybody to find out what the situation is.
So see homeless people in human terms.
That's a fact, absolutely.
What do you feel is the ultimate, for you, what would be the ultimately most positive outcome? If you could imagine anything really good coming out of this, what would it be for you?
Getting the finances I need to get back in the situation that I was before I had the margin call.
So get back in the market.
Yes.
And do it right this time.
That's right. Because aside from this is my number one priority now. Everything is back on the back burner. Because I know that if I can, when I started doing 50 or more books a day, that's going to help me quickly get back to the position that I was in.
And is it you have a desire to get off out of a homeless situation, or is that not your focus right now?
Not at the moment. That is not at the moment. It is yes and no. But my main thing right now is to remain healthy and to sell these books.
When he found out that I worked in finance, and I work for a bank right now, he started talking to me about the market. He let me know that he's studying for his broker's license. So he would catch up with me on what was happening in the market, let me know what new investments were out, and talk to me about commodities and different stuff. So we started chatting a little bit, and within a few weeks of coming, he had brought along a book that he said he was marketing for a Toronto author. And so he had pulled these books that were carefully wrapped up in plastic bags, all neatly packed away. And he showed me a copy, and it was an interesting topic, I thought, for somebody who I would say is without a permanent address or homeless to be carrying around. And it was about personal and self-development. And it had an interesting spiritual side to it. So I was impressed that he was there marketing something, not looking for a handout, but actually hoping to market something that he really thought was worthwhile. And he had the introduction laminated that he was showing people by the author, saying, I've got permission to be marketing these. I'm proud of what this work is. I'm in the introduction. This is something that's going to help people and hopefully help me. So from there I bought my first copy, and I had seen him subsequent to that. And after reading the book, I was excited about what it had to say. I was happy that it was helping him, helping the homeless as well. And so I bought an additional copy from him, and I would see him on St. Clair selling his books morning and afternoon.
Now, I had an experience with you the other day on St. Clair where you had sold out books for the day, and you know what you're talking about is helping people survive.
Yes.
I'm talking about this idea, which is kind of a strange idea in a way, of trying to take it to the next level and actually empower their self-esteem by getting them doing or selling something where they're making their own money. You seemed more happy in that moment than I've ever seen anybody happy. And I kept thinking to myself, well, it's because he made the money for himself, as opposed to it was handed to him.
Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not accustomed to handouts. As a matter of fact, I am not too happy about some people being on welfare. I've never been on welfare, and I don't anticipate being on welfare. There's reasons why I'm not on welfare, but I find since I'm an entrepreneur, I I get more enjoyment when I can earn money without someone giving it to me. I feel a lot better that way. Whereas some people, they like having people hand everything to them. I'm not into that.
I think the biggest challenge for the homeless is transitioning to what we would say is a normal lifestyle, which is hard to define. But for many people, they want to get off the street, and that requires that they have a source of income to then pay for the housing that they need to get a permanent address. And Slim, by far, stands out amongst any of the people that we had come to the program. He was extremely positive, very articulate. He seems to be focused on what he wants to do, and he did want to empower himself. And he had these books and he was marketing them. He was really excited about marketing these books. And on one occasion I came across him on St. Clair, and it was lunch, invited him to go for lunch, and he let me know that he didn't have time to go for lunch. He had a goal set to sell so many books that day, and he was heading up St. Clair with his cart and those books neatly wrapped, looking to sell as many as he could. So I thought that was a fantastic way. We've seen it with some of the outreach where they sell newspapers and collect a little bit. This is just another example of a great book that people would be excited about and would also give him a great source of income as well. So I think it's fantastic.
So you've been doing this for what, a couple of weeks now?
Since April 2nd.
Is that when it started?
Yep.
Good memory. How many books you sold?
Roughly. Somewhere between 50, 60,
50 or 60 books.
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
What do you think is a realistic figure?
For me to, on a daily basis?
Yeah, on average.
And I would say at least 50.
What do you feel you have to set up in order to be able to attract 50 buyers a day?
Being in a good area, let people know who I am and what the purpose of me being there, and let them know how good this book is and how it's going to help them as well as me, and it will be a better fulfillment for their life.
So I want to initiate a homelessness challenge to everybody around the world to look around in the neighborhood that they live in, if they're in a position to do so, and find some individual who they can do something for, to enable them, to empower them, to bring them back into the community, to bring them back into the network of human relatedness. It's fine to give money away to help them to survive, but if you can find an individual that you can do a little more for, just a little errand or a task, something they can sell on the street level so that they can make their own money and empower themselves. I think it's important that we take this notion of unity consciousness, this notion of allness, this idea we talk about all the time, about how everybody and everything is connected, and we take it out of the conceptual thinking framework and we take it right back to the human experience itself. I think it's essential that we do this, that we remember, but for the grace of God, there go I, and that we allow ourselves to look at whatever it is we're afraid of. When we look at those homeless people, what do we see? Do we see our own potential homelessness? Do we see our own fears arise? To really kind of do a little work around that, to understand why we choose to see those people as distinct and why we don't feel some obligation to bring them back into the